Right, welcome back to the Legit Crypto Lounge, everybody, the place that aims to bring together real projects with real investors. For today's AMA, we're joined by KJam from the token House of Dragon, whose token is yet to launch. So we'll find out more about the team itself, their project, and any USPs they have, and then we can delve into some of the details before opening up to a Q&A for the community. So, KJam, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and your team, take us through any real life experience you have that can bring to the project, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. This is my first time here at the Digital Crypto Lounge. Heard great things about yourselves. Love doing AMA tours, currently on an AMA tour for this token. And it's a great place to be able to spread information about, what's happening in the project, how the investor can really benefit from it. I love the ability of a conversation. So thank you everyone for being here. And it's a great place to be able to share in the new AMA lounge. So my name is KJam. I part of the core team here. And it's a core team of around 5 people. And it's a team that's come together throughout different stages of the crypto space and through similar understandings as what we're in now, like the AMA lounges and other projects whereby you talk within a VC and you start to meet people and you move through that space. So I myself has been in crypto for about 2 years, and I've been developing around that for just over a year now and working in teams and doing different projects, and started with DeFi yield and APY and LP staking tokens. And that's kind of where I'm at right now in terms of the team that I'm with. And some of the people from those protocols, some of the original devs and everything from that is now here in this protocol that we're running, this new smart contract. And it's been like a real nice organic process of like learning how things work in the space, the timing of the market, what's interesting for the investor, what trends are around, why are people buying what and this. And you have to adapt, you have to be fluid, you have to be really liquid in this space, and you have to go with what's current. And so yeah, we've got ourselves a great team. We're a really ambitious team, a really team that's wanting to make a name for themselves, and a safe team. And what we're doing is we're going to look to push this hype, this new hype that we've got, which is going to be coming on HBO from the new TV series House of the Dragon.
Perfect. So in terms of you specifically, obviously you're team lead, but what is your role within the team and your expertise?
Yeah, sure. So I'm here to do the communication, the community, the marketing, the strategy, co-founder. And I think really important, Mark, being able to have that voice, being able to communicate what the team is thinking, what sort of routes we're going down. And it's great that you can have a VC inside a community, Telegram or Discord, and really push to the investor. But I think it's also great to be able to move out into these AMA lounges and then spread the voice and have like that conversation about DeFi and what's happening. So I think my skill set comes in the communication, but I'm also really at the core front of the strategy. But, I really admire like the team that I'm with, because understanding tokenomics, whether it be NFT tokenomics or what's the best type of launch, what's best in which aspect. I think when you've got more heads together, you can really cover more of those bases. So from me being able to run the communication, we've got people from other AMA lounges that are working within our core team, and probably just like yourself, Mark, like you really will understand what's great when it comes to a successful launch, a successful team project, just by what you're doing on a daily basis by talking to people. So having people from an AMA lounge in your core team is being invaluable and really successful. And we've got a based Solidity dev, which is in charge of our contract and controls all of that aspect of things. And outside of that, we've got a few more people that are running strategy and communication. But also, like outside of the core team, we're working with marketers and other people too, in order to like help us advise and to really pull off something that can have the longevity, so that the investor can see more than like a 24, 48-hour kind of pump.
Okay, yeah, sounds good, perfect. And you mentioned that within your core team, then there's a Solidity developer. So
that's right.
Within house, then you've got all that sorted. Obviously, you've got
the
trust.
Yeah, we export sometimes the word to a third party, to a freelancer if there's a type of Solidity needed. But what's great is that we've got an internal core member that can deploy, that can run everything when it comes to the smart contract. They hold all the keys, and the whole team is confident. And this is over the third, probably to the third project now, whereby we've had trust in this Solidity dev, and everything's worked out fine with us. So it's a great place to be able to have that on hand too. But of course, always that not everything can be done on hand. To be able to outsource and to bring people in this DeFi space to build in this crypto space is great. But having control, who has control, that's important. So yeah, luckily we've got one person with control of that. They're part of the core team. They're based, they're active every day, and we can have confidence in that person.
Perfect. Yep, good to hear. And then in terms of finances, then who's taking the lead on that? Are you sharing the responsibility within the team?
Yeah, it runs again the same with Mao, with our base dev, in terms of having access to the wallets and who's running private sale or things like that.
Okay, cool. Good stuff. Okay, let's get into the project then. So do you want to give us an overview of what you're creating?
Yeah, sure. So what we've got is the title House of the Dragon. And House of the Dragon is going to premiere in just under 4 weeks from now. And what it is, it's the House of the Dragon prequel, which is to the Games of Thrones series, and it's coming to HBO on the 21st of August. So everyone's aware of the HBO show, The House of Dragons, and this is the same of the House of the Game of Thrones. This is the same, but it's titled The House of Dragons, and it's set around 300 or to 200 years, I believe, before the Game of Thrones started. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to look to have the hype of what HBO is going to bring to, probably you could say, the planet, to all four corners of the planet, and to have this what we call a legacy hype. And you've seen it probably, Mark, throughout crypto yourself. It's a great conversation to have. People have got their own stories, right, about how external real life events move into the crypto space and either pump a trend or pump a token. So what's happening here is we've been able to talk as a team and a community and different things, and to be able to develop this idea and say this might become a crypto trend. And what we could do as a team is to get a token that could be successful and safe, and then see if this becomes a trend, and then be in a better position when that trend comes. So yeah, we're about 4 weeks ahead of the release by HBO of House of the Dragon. And I would say the main utility when it comes to this token is marketing and HBO. And of course, we've got some other things that we're going to add in there, some more generic things for what a crypto investor might want to see now. But this is really like a hype legacy token. And there's probably going to be loads, almost like an Olympic race. Everyone's at the starting line. There's a 100-meter race. One person's going to win. One person's going to come second. It's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be many tokens that are going to be based around this if this becomes a hype. So again, we're 4 weeks ahead. Will it work? Will it not? We'll see. But what we're doing is we're going to almost harness and ride the wave of what possibly HBO could put out into the world.
Okay. So you're jumping in off the back of this, the back of what's launched and stuff. So
yeah,
in your mind, is this like realistically a short-term project?
I would say that when you're looking at the market right now, like what's trendy, and this is when we came from the DeFi yield sector, when we're looking at like LP staking tokens. When we were marketing these things, we were asking like, what's sexy right now? And it's quite hard to make DeFi yield sexy, even though it's successful. But what's interesting is when the market changes, different things become more sexy to an investor. So everybody's looking for that quick meme kind of token. So one thing I would say that in the market right now, it would be quite hard to see longevity when you're talking about a token. If somebody is doing that, then be kind of wary about that. But one thing I can definitely say about this token is that it will look to launch around the 1st of August, which is just at the end of this week. And then you will have, from that point, let's say 3 weeks, for there then a legacy premiere, a push, a real world push, probably millions of dollars, I imagine, HBO will spend on marketing to push this around the world. And then from there, the weeks beyond, as the characters, the TV series, and other things become more popular as the series get released. I think it's a weekly release, possibly something like that. So you can say that this token will live several weeks. And in this market, that's a lot.
Oh, yeah. And jumping in off the back of their massive push, which they're obviously going to do, could be good. I'm just thinking back to you know, the last year when Peaky Blinders last came out, and there was a couple of tokens launched from that. But actually, they didn't, or at least the one that I invested in, didn't do what it hoped to achieve. And by the time that the first episode came out, it had already flopped. So I just wondered if you were aware of that, and if you were able to take any learnings from that to be able to make sure that you, you know, don't make them mistakes and make this a success.
That's like great. This is why the power of AMAs is great, because as a team we learn a lot. We get to speak to community members, we get to get that Q&A, and we also get to speak to hosts like yourself, Mark, whereby you can then learn from the crypto experience of the people who've got. I'm not aware of that Pinky Blinders one. I mean, gosh, every time there's a TV series right now, there's some form of crypto attachment to it, something happening. I think, you know, that's the worry. It's very easy to get caught up, isn't it, onto like, this was successful when this happened. You know, I remember when Will Smith slapped at the Oscars, the Will Smith token was, I don't know, I can't remember the X's. It made a lot of X's. And, you know, so there's a lot of these things that cross over fast. And then there's a lot of these things that cross over in time. And I guess not all of them are successful, just like crypto in general. Not everything can be successful. So yeah, it's definitely a risk as a team. It's definitely a risk as an investor. And just like anything here in DeFi, we need to try and understand what is the risk to reward ratio. I think with this though, there is old posts, and you can see them from Elon Musk that's being posted into Games of Thrones. He's a fan of Games of Thrones. He did post about the House of the Dragon previous. I think that was around 2018 to 2019 when the TV series was announcing that they would have another one coming out. And he also tweeted that he would, I think it was something to do with create a cyborg dragon. So when they were mentioning to him about the House of the Dragon coming soon, he was retweeting back. So if we can get the legacy hype to be big enough in the real world, HBO can really do a good job at that. But how do we get that to convey into the crypto world? Elon Musk is the number one at the world right now when it comes to that, right? So if he starts to tweet about his interest in the TV show, which he has previously with the last episode, the last TV series, I think it would be easier for it to become a trend in crypto than maybe Pinky Blinders or other TV shows. But of course, it is always, we're predicting, aren't we? We're predicting this will be a trend right now. Nobody really does know. Yeah.
Sure. I guess you never know, do you? Just going back to you and the team then, do you have you specifically or any of your team members have experience in successfully launching meme tokens?
Yeah, I would. Well, like I say, we went down the route of DeFi yield and LP staking. We've definitely tried launching different smart contracts with different meme ideas. Once straight after we finished, we had a community and we were trying to see what the community wanted. And there was a lot of people saying, let's launch our own meme version of this. When we were creating an ecosystem within the DeFi yield, the DeFi yield ecosystem was great. It worked. Everything was great. I really like that. The problem is, you know, in this type of market, nobody wants to put money into, you know, LP staking and stuff. So what we did is when we looked at the meme token, we launched, and there's different things that work and push and pulls there. But yeah, we're not like the meme pros, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely when it comes to like launching a token that can be of the market, I think this conveys slightly meme, but it also conveys that hype legacy of reality. And another thing that we're probably looking to do is that we're not trying to shy away from the fact that this is HBO. We want to almost skin their, you know, what they're doing and put it here, like, you know, like the early days of LimeWire or the Pirate Bay or the internet, or the way the music industry moved towards the internet. You know, if HBO launched their own House of the Dragon token on the Ethereum chain or any other chain, I'm sure it'd be hugely successful. But because they're not, then there's going to be people on these DeFi chains launching it. So it's looking at slightly meme, slightly something else, I would say.
Okay, cool. And within your project, obviously, I've had a look at your roadmap and what else you've got there, you know, to try and support it, boost it, differentiate yourself from what is inevitably going to become from this series. There's going to be plenty of other similar tokens that are taking off and stuff, aren't there? So you're obviously trying to get in here right from the start and be the go-to token for this. So alongside it, you've got a couple of elements, haven't you, within, so you've got the NFTs and the P2E game. So do you want to talk us through how the NFTs look?
Yeah, sure. And it's great that you brought them up first, Mark. So that's what we've got first on our list. We've just launched the dashboard, which is within our Telegram. You can see a link for that. It's also within our website. You'll be able to see a link for that, and that just gives a little bit more utility to the investor. You can do different things on there, as you can see. But one thing that we're looking to do is, one thing I don't want to get caught up on is these types of utilities that are expected in the crypto space. And it was kind of refreshing, really, at the beginning of your AMA, where you were saying, look, we don't want to give away giveaways to promote, this and that. And I think sometimes people can expect too much when it comes to the utilities. Of course, the type of utility right now that's popular, we're going to go with. But I think, ultimately you need to understand what you're trying to do with your investment and what's real. But when it comes to the NFTs, I think it's really, really key for us to be able to get those. And I think it can look really cool. And we've got an NFT artist that we're working with right now. And we're going to go into the first 9 characters, have the first 9 characters. So if you go on the HBO website, you can see the characters, the additional cast. We've got 9 characters, our main characters. If we can NFT them into a form of like rare, common, legend, legacy, what we can do is allow staking. And then we can move back into what the team's really experienced with, which is the APY and the DeFi yield. And then the individual from purchasing that NFT will be able to stake it and have a passive income, which will be within our token. And they'll have a little minting dApp where you can purchase it too with BNB. So it gives the individual, where maybe an interest in APY, maybe an interest in the actual series and wants to, move into more collectible items. But it also shows that we're a little bit more serious. And that's, I think, where the play to earn comes in, because the play to earn is going to then be later down the line, and it's going to be something that we can utilize with the NFTs. But of course, these are like added utilities that I think a investor right now is looking for. And one thing that's great is that on the NFTs in general, I think is what's better with a stronger appeal, is that we can do a second range, a second release of edition, and you see it on the roadmap. And once the series comes out, once it's live, you'll get additional characters that are in there that are maybe more popular or maybe more cooler or some sort of an appeal to the audience. And then they might be the ones, or an animal within it, let's say, they might be the ones that we then tokenize within an NFT, in the second range. So we can expand with the first 9, and then we can expand from there with the additional cast. So I think there's more power if you're trying to like harness a legacy hype with NFTs than other things. And yeah, we're in the making of them. They'll probably be the first things that we can preview and show to the community that we're developing around this token.
Okay, cool. So where we're at right now, you've got no artwork or anything that you can share with us at this stage now?
No. I mean, it would be nice to have it right, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to get it right. We do have artwork, I guess, prototypes, but yeah, we want to get it right for many different things. And another thing is we're not trying to rush. You did say there'll be a lot of different tokens coming out. There is already tokens coming out with this kind of thing. I think like the real race when it comes to a legacy hype, again, this is the first time that I've been a part of a legacy hype. As a developer, as a person involved in launching tokens and being a part of teams, it's the first time I've actually felt like this with a token. I've been trying to be in the moment as much as possible, because this outside heartbeat that's being created around you, that's being driven not by you, is there, and it's been really interesting. And so of course, maybe near the time of the premiere, there might be hundreds of House of the Dragon tokens or similar. But I think and as a team we've been strategizing, I do believe that it's not about rushing. It's not about trying to have the first NFT or the first on the blockchain and all these kind of things. It's about being able to convey and have a community built around what you're doing. And then from there, get yourself onto the aggregator websites and get yourself almost in a position to expect the hype to happen. And so in that, there is no rush, because of course, if your key goal is to get onto CoinMarketCap, to play to earn NFTs, are they going to help? Are they going to be the ones to push the volume and the amount, all these things that you need? Maybe. So you need utility, you need many different factors. But I think key, if you can get onto those aggregators, onto CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, if we can get the volume, if we can get the 500 plus holders, and if we can have enough expenses to be able to apply and do that successfully, that would be the ultimate utility. That would be the ultimate goal for all the investors, to be able to buy a token, any House of the Dragon token, that is going to prioritize being able to get that as their number one success, because they are the ones that are more likely to benefit from that hype if it was to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess you need to push yourself to the top right from the start, be the the leader in this small space, and then hold those members, those community members, those investors, and by having these options, these NFTs, these play to earn elements as an option that you can develop, will allow you to get them holders to be able to get that market cap climbing higher, which has like a spiraling effect. So I'm just trying to understand where you're at right now and where you're going to be at in terms of when this launches, and kind of like how serious you are about elements like the play to earn. But let's stick on the NFTs for the minute and stuff, because have you looked at any of the details in terms of how much you plan on costing these out for, how many will be minted, things like this?
Yeah, we haven't got them fully just yet to be able to like convey an AMA, professionally. But we're looking at a small 500 NFT range at the beginning, and we're going to look through different rarities, through the character, and different traits through that. But again, this is something that's going to come soon. We don't want to get too caught up on those facts, because we don't really have them as we're still developing. But they will be coming soon. The first thing that's coming, and we're not promising this around the launch of the premiere or launch. We're planning this in the next week or so. These things that are in development. And when it comes to like the seriousness of the play to earn, we're in talks. We've got budgets. We've paid people. It's just that these things take a little bit longer. But they're, I've seen tokens already launching these things and saying they're coming like at the launch of the premiere and stuff. Ours will be a lot before that. But one thing I'm trying to stress in these AMAs is that, and I've been doing it. We've been doing an AMA tour. I think we've been about 4 to 5 AMAs throughout this week. It's quite easy to get caught up on the play to earn or the NFTs, and it becomes like an NFT token or a play to earn token, and then you're in all these different areas, and you're really not allowing the conversation to go down the route which it should be. So I don't want to get too caught up with those utilities being the main focus right now. But of course, we're serious because we need to get to that point. We need to get the coin gecko. We need to get the coin market cap. We need to be able to get volume, and we need interest, and we need to be able to develop those, because everyone knows what happens when someone promises a play to earn in the future. It's like the obvious number one trick. We're interested in more, we're ambitious, and when it comes to like where we are now as a token, I think that's a great place to be, because we're early. We're really early. It's a fantastic opportunity to an AMA tour, to be able to speak here in the Legit Crypto Lounge. And so where we're at right now is we've been looking at our options for launch, and we've been watching the market closely. We've been checking all possibilities. What was the best opportunity for the early investor? What's the best? And we switched type of launch. We've switched date of launch, and we do many different things to get to this point. But where we're at right now, we've got an active private sale. And that's something which is great to be able to share here in this AMA with yourselves. Now, the private sale, we've got about 9 slots left, and that was a private sale out of about 20 BNB. And that's the total BNB there. And what it is, it's a 10% more than pre-sale in the private sale, and the max is 1 BNB, no minimum. So if you're interested in private sale, if you're the type of investor that would like to get into a private sale, then we have got 9 slots left. And this is something that we've been able to give here to this community. And we've also, with the type of launch that we're looking at doing a hard cap, soft cap launch with whitelist. And we've also got 10 whitelists in order to give out to the community of the Legit Crypto Lounge. And that's something that I talked to Toby about. And I think you're going to put it in the giveaway when it comes to the spin at the end of the AMA. So you've got options for private sale. You've got options to participate in a giveaway this evening to be able to get whitelist spots. And what we're doing is we're planning on looking to launch the token on the 1st of August. So just at the end of the week, and that's the coming Monday. And the soft cap is going to be 75 BNB, and the hard cap is going to be 150 BNB with a minimum of 0.1 BNB and a max of 0.5 BNB. So it'll start 7 p.m. on that August the 1st. And once hard cap is reached, it'll launch an hour after that. We're very positive that we'll be able to get hard cap reached. What's exciting is that we'll be able to have that token launch pretty fast once that hard cap is reached. So where we're at right now is being able to get the right kind of launch, a fair launch, different types of launches. What does the investor want? What looks better for the token, and what's better for the time, and also not being scared of competitors, and also having pace to be able to time it right and do it right. And again, look for our number one successful goal, which is to get the numbers, the volume, and the holders so that we can push onto those aggregator websites. So just to stress, right now, the state of the token is we're going to launch on August, and we're looking to fulfill our private sale and give away some whitelist spots.
Okay, cool. So let's look at that then. So you mentioned 20B at private sale. You've already raised what 11 BNB then? Did you say? And you've got 9 BNB left.
Yeah.
You know, and are those funds aimed purely at promoting the pre-sale? As in that's purely going towards marketing?
Yeah. So the private sale is enabling our marketing early stages.
Yep. Okay. And then between now and the 1st of August, so that's going to go towards that. And then you've got. So how have you been funding things up to this point then? Has there been any private investment in terms of from your core team?
Yeah, so we've had some investment from some of the team in order to get the ball rolling when it comes to some of the first AMAs and general things. And then what we've managed to do is to secure some of that early private, and we've been working with different external marketers to be able to make sure that the right type of people are in the private, and that we're doing it the right way so that we can get the right type of investor for the project. And yeah, we've been able to use those funds to utilize this early stage of marketing to give us some flexibility as to what we can do with the launch and if we want to extend it and different things. So yeah, the early marketing has come from the private, and yeah, we still got a few slots there.
And if anybody is interested in taking part in your private, how do they contribute?
Sure. So what you can do is jump into our Telegram, and you can just ask in there, or there'll be a link, something to do with Rose, I imagine, if you start questioning about it. But yeah, you'll be able to contact our spot contact. It's called Mao. And there's also a private sale group which you'll be added to, so you can see what's happening from there. We've got everyone who's interested in private, all the information that you need. And yeah, it will be 10% more than the pre-sale tokens. But we're pretty confident that we're going to fill the hard cap there, and the soft cap. So what we're looking at doing is we can give the whitelist spots away. We can talk about this, but we're pretty confident that this pre-sale that we're looking at might fill up quite quick. So if anyone is interested and is confident with private, because of course, Mark, like, it's a type of investor. I always say, like, what's great now is you've got 3 types of investments, right? You can be the private sale that you like sending anonymous, wallets money. You can be the person who likes going into Pinksale or different launch pads, or you can be the person that likes to buy straight off on PancakeSwap or whatever you're on to buy the chart live. And what's great is that when you're early in these stages, you can do all 3. And some people that we've been talking to like to do all 3 as well, which is interesting. And some people like to do one or the other. But what's great is you so early, you can give the investor the ability to have all of those options. And I really like that early stage of tokens.
Yeah. So in terms of the pre-sale then, what launchpad are you going with for that?
Pinksale.
Pinksale. Okay. And that's going to be whitelist only?
Yeah, it's a whitelist pre-sale, yeah.
And
we got 300 whitelist spots.
Okay.
We're giving many away in different AMAs that we're in, and the rest we're also focusing on different places.
If you're only giving 300 whitelist spots away, you've got a hard cap of 150 BNB, but a max contribution of 0.5 BNB. Is that
sorry. Yeah, max contribution was 1.5.
Oh, sorry, 1.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not 0.1 was the minimum.
0.1 and 1.5.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, in an ideal world, you will hit that hard cap quickly and then launch soon after that.
Yeah, we're looking at 1 hour after hitting that hard cap, we'll be launching.
Cool. And so from the funds that you're raising, are you already listed on Pinksale for the pre-sale?
Not at the moment.
No, you're waiting for the private to fill up.
Yeah, we're waiting to complete the private and to probably move into the next couple of days and then look to go there, because there's many tokens launching different things, different names. We want to make sure everything's right and we get things at the right place. We don't just want to be crowded in a space whereby there's a lot of people which might be rushing right now.
Okay, and how does the breakdown look? So let's say best case scenario, you get this 150 hard cap. What are the funds going to be used towards?
From the privates, from the pre-sale.
Yeah, we've already touched on the private. So yeah, if we look at the pre-sale.
Yeah, like how are we going to look to break that down?
Yeah, presumably a decent percentage is going towards LP.
Yeah, I think you're on the website on the chart there. If you scroll just below, there should be a pie chart there, I think, on the screen. That's just the overall supply, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look. Not sure 100% on that. So how are we breaking down the pre-sale 150 BNB as to where it goes? Where I'm not sure. I haven't got that at hand to be able to like throw that out. But I'm sure we can look into that.
Okay, and so obviously that's going to be your main source of post-launch funds as well. So it's kind of key to know, what's going into LP and how much you're going to have left towards, pushing things post-launch as well. Because like you've just alluded to, the main thing for this token is to go with a bang and launch and be the name in the space. So ideally, I'd like to know how much funds you would have towards post-launch marketing. But if we look at post-launch, what what type of plans have you got marketing-wise?
Post-launch after the pre-sales filled?
Yes.
Yeah, so again, what's great is we've got that time period, haven't we? Got that. So on that Monday, we'll be looking at having probably a straight 3 weeks, I think, from that Monday it is, to the HBO premiere. So what we're going to probably look to do there is to continue where we're at with the AMA tour, with the building the community, to have the first release of the NFTs, whereby you can have the D app and you can stake them. We can give some APY to the community. We can give some utility to the token, and then we can really set that viewpoint to the longevity of like the next 3 weeks, to be able to build towards the play to earn and to see what HBO2 do, because that's been interesting, Mark, that there was one time we were developing some visuals looking into what's happening with the token, and then HBO released like a brand new trailer. So I think as things become closer to that, HBO are going to ramp up their marketing. You might see this advertised on the streets. You might see it on your different platforms on the internet. So from that, we could start to ride that wave. But of course, when it comes closer to the premiere, I think that's where the conversation and the think tanks between the teams have been having as to what's the best type of marketing, what's the best at that point with how much we've got, how much should we spend where, and stuff like that. So I think a lot of it is getting your name out, more call groups. But I would say, like, to your question, the post-launch is probably more to absorb, to be able to have open transparency conversation, and then to release the first wave of utility so that we can keep the investors understanding that this token is not going to come and go over 24 or 48 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. And is the funds raised from the first lot of NFTs, is that going straight back into marketing?
Well, again, the second time you asked me a question, Mike, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's this is why these think tanks are great to have, so that we can like strategize and understand whether there will be an answer to that. I'm not 100% sure. I imagine there'll be ways to use that. Maybe we'll listen to what some of the team want, to what some of the community want, to what's happening with the token, to what's happening in the crypto space, and to what we do with those funds.
Okay. And you mentioned previously about your experience in terms of APYs and staking and things like that. So, because that's going to be one of the key things, isn't it? Like getting holders, but keeping them, and that staking element helps people just lock it up, and let you run with development and let HBO hype it up, so you can win off the back of that. So, have you looked at any staking options? What type of staking you'd be offering to holders?
Yeah, so in terms of they're based on the NFTs, and we need to really like strategize out the different types and what that's going to be. But it'll be based on that common, which will be the lowest APY, and then to the highest, which will be the legendary. And then we'll be looking at different incentives to the community. If you were to mint a legendary, you would receive a $500 bonus. So there's a few things we've been looking at, but the APYs, in terms of what that APY is, again, super early here in the Legit Crypto Lounge for us to have that. Of course, it does make sense more like having all this information right before you come in an AMA, but it's just how this seems to be, how we are in the crypto space, that we launch a certain way, and this is where it's at. So sometimes not all the information is there and available as much as I might like. I would love to be able to explain all those things to you. It'd be a great thing. I love being able to explain things. But yeah, no, I'm not sure, but there'll be around 3 to 4 different stages of the APY, from the lowest to the highest, to be able to see what kind of DeFi yield you can get from them. But
is the staking going to be limited to NFTs? Then you're going to have to purchase an NFT and stake that. You're not going to stake tokens.
No. So use tokens to use BNB, I think was what we're at, to purchase the NFT, and then you'd be able to stake that NFT. Yeah, not staking tokens. No.
Okay, fine. Okay. Do you want to quickly take us through the tokenomics then, in terms of the buy and sell taxes? And
this is great.
Looks?
This is great for that too. And what's nice to be able to present like a good sense of tokenomics, and we're limited down. So we've got a nice amount here. So we've got like a 6% buy and a 6% sell. And that's been great for the investor to be able to give them that to the community member. And what's great is that the type of contract we've got, it's been a contract that's created just for this protocol as well. And those taxes are fixed. We can't change them on launch, and we can't change them at all, really. So we've got a fixed 6% buy and sell, and that breaks down to a 2% in the LP and 4% into the marketing.
Cool, nice and simple. And then just looking at your distribution there. Team 4.7%. Just while it's in my head, obviously with meme tokens, a lot of them are scams. A lot of them, rug pulls, honeypots, all the rest of it and stuff. And people get concerned about leaving their money in these tokens overnight in case they fall off a cliff and stuff. So just on that note, do you have audits in place for the contracts?
I mean, this is a great, I experienced that myself. I mean, this is when you're talking to people, you want to be able to what sometimes we talk in AMAs and the VCs about, anxiety-free investment. You want to be, you ever invest in something and you're trying to eat some food and you're anxious about it, and you can't sleep. And it would have been better if you didn't even invest in it, because of how it made you feel over the hours and the days afterwards. And of course, so when it comes to like the audits, the contract's being created solely for this token. We're confident in that solidity. We're confident within ourselves as a team. But yeah, they're there to be able to spot vulnerabilities, things that we might have missed, so that, of course, we don't want to have success as a team and then find out we're hacked or something went wrong. So they're there to be able to give the vulnerability aspect a bit of a second look over, like a proofread of a document. But yes, to an investor, they add security. They show that the team's willing to look into security, and that can be no scams. But of course, so many scams these days with certic audits. So audits are not the safe place to be. They're not the gold standard. Anything can scam you with an audit. But when it comes to them, you need to have them. If you don't have them, it would be crazy to push not having them. So we don't have any right now, but they'll be in place, and we'll look to get audits, but not only on the smart contract, on the dApps that we use and other websites when it comes to the staking, because we're aware of there are also vulnerabilities too. And I think the main concern there to the investor is that nobody here is going to look to do a short-term scam. We've got previous projects in the past. We're looking to make a name for ourselves. We're ambitious. But of course, I would say the main thing I would want an audit for was not to relieve the anxiety for the investor, would be so that if this token was to become successful, I don't end up somebody stealing what would be the team's success. And that would be a horrible place to be. So I think we're going to take audits seriously for that reason. But of course, the investor also likes to see them.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of the audits and audits for especially for the smart contract, when will you be doing that, and who will you be using?
Yeah, not sure exactly on who we'll be using. We've used different people in the past. There's great free ones out there that you can do beforehand. There's loads of great different free audit services out there that people use now. So there's things that we can present to the investor early on just to show that the contract is in a great place. But in terms of having like that bigger insight to look into the smart contract on a detailed basis, which one works better for the reputation, for the cost, there's loads of different factors. Not sure on that just yet, but there will be audits coming.
Will you be doing that before launch or after?
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
the launch was
you're
set on August the
launching on the
1st.
1st. Yeah, there's not a lot of time, is there?
Not a lot of time, but you've seen how these things work. The money talks, right? So there's ways in which to get an audit if we needed to get that beforehand. But from what I understand, the audits will be there soon. So I imagine we'll be, if not on launch or just before launch.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty important from an investor's point of view to get that. Is your Solidity developer, are they known in the space?
I wouldn't say known as in like publicly known or like overly attempting to make themselves known, but definitely well experienced. Yeah.
Okay, then in terms of your core team, then 5 members, yourself and the other members, have you doxed? Have you KYC to anybody?
So some of the core team, they're publicly doxed. They work for different AMA groups, or you can just see their profile, or they I don't know if they might go on a video, but yeah, they're publicly doxed. When it comes to the KYC with a project or myself, I'm not doxed. I'm not KYC'd. Our Solidity Dev is not doxed or KYC'd. We won't be having a KYC or dox with Pinksale. That's something as a team that we openly talk about. It's something that we've done previously on other projects. We're very confident when it comes to that, and we can have discussions as to why we feel like this. But of course, understanding as to it's great that the investor can see that, but also you need to look at yourself as a developer, as a team member, as to who you're giving your documents to and who are these people. And there's two sides of every story, and it's an interesting space. I would like there to be more of a broader scope for doxing and KYCing than what there is right now, especially when it comes to giving it to Pinksale. So we do understand the pushback on that. We're not shy to that, but of course we do get pushback on that. So we're open to have a conversation on it. But we feel strong, and so many projects will dox, so many projects will KYC. They will have the audit that you discussed as being really important, and they would still scam you. So these things don't mean anything really in crypto space. What is really important is transparency, it's conversation, and it's understanding as to why something is going a certain way. And if people can present that, I think you can give the investor that safe place to be if that's what they're looking for. But openly within this DeFi space, everyone has to understand what they're doing, and it is still the wild, wild west right now.
It is the wild, wild west, and I think you mentioned about being transparent, but it doesn't feel very transparent to not have an audit, not to KYC, not to docs. So for me, that's a big issue. What's your problem with KYC into Pinksale? I know, I guess on the flip side, obviously, there's been plenty of projects that come out and they will KYC to Pinksale and they'll still scam. So it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. I just wonder in your case why you feel that you wouldn't want to KYC to them.
Yeah, And it's funny, those three things you stated, to me, they scream scam. You know, if it was KYC, certified and doxed, scam, get out of that token. And, you know, it's so funny how the way that the system is right now in DeFi, it's got the individual thinking like this, and that these are the safe mechanisms. Well, I mean, you know, is Pinksale KYC'd and doxed? Is PancakeSwap KYC'd and doxed? Obviously, the answer is no. Who's the biggest thief in crypto DeFi right now on the BSC chain? PancakeSwap? Yeah, I say many people would say that. What's going on with CoinMarketCap and some of the dirty things like that? When you look deeper, there's a lot of murkiness. Of course, being able to get a more bigger, you know, LP, you know, pre-sale by doing these things. Of course, you can just dox. You can pay someone on Fiverr to dox for you. You know, recently I saw someone paid an actor to pretend to be them. There's loads of things you can do to be able to get through those. Do Pinksale care? No, they don't care. And, you know, you have to give your passport, you have to give your face, you have to give your a video. You know, who rules them? Who says what they do with your documents? And there's a lot of different conversations you can have here as to what is safe. And it is unfortunately a space whereby you've got to be careful. And I would love to be able to be doxed. I think that if I was in the right kind of project and the project was at, you know, millions of dollars of market caps, I say that would be a safe place to dox and a sensible place to dox. But if I'm in the DeFi space and I'm a developer and I'm launching a token and the market's moving and the crypto investors are cheating and they're moving to the next one and there's all this different behavior everywhere and I'm getting ripped off by marketers, you know, it's a dangerous place to dox. But of course, when the timing is right and you've got where you need to be and it's safe, I think it's great. But you have to look at who you're KYCing to. And I think us as a team, we don't think that KYCing your personal details to Pinksale is number one priority to your token being successful. We just want to use them as the number one launchpad right now to get the token launched. And then from there, we can pursue the next stage of the tokens.
Okay. Just on that note, have you thought about KYCing with anyone else outside of Pinksale?
Yeah. There's been like a few people that I've seen. People have sent me links, which is great. Like I get so many links of different places, and there is other companies out which you can KYC to and docs to, and you can do that as a form of credibility, not so much as widely spread as like a Pinksale badge on your pre-sale, but you can say, hey, go to this website, this is the stocks, and you can present that. So it's an option. But I think for myself and the team, we would need to be at a larger market cap of the success of the project for us to be able to go down that route. We haven't got to that point yet.
Okay. I get that behind the doxing thing. Because, well, I mean, why should you? People are so fickle in this space that, you know, it might not necessarily be your fault and they'll be quick to blame you. And then you're fully doxed and it's like, yeah, I get that. KYC, on the other hand, I kind of understand reasons for not doing it with certain people. But I think it'd be a nice thing to have in terms of, you know, holding a 150 BNB pre-sale.
Yeah. I think, you know, this is a great thing. I mean, right now we could go on Fiverr and we could pay someone to do that, and then the anxiety is relieved for all the investors.
Yeah, but it
doesn't make a difference.
No, you're right. Yeah, you could quite easily do that. But then on the other hand, 150 BNB pre-sale. How confident do you feel with filling that without a KYC badge, without an order
Very
badge?
confident. The last token we launched, we did 270 BNB pre-sale.
And when was that?
That was about 6 months ago from now, just before the market took a turn, around just after July. Okay. And so when we were open about the KYC, about the doxing, and generally when you have the conversation, it's totally fine. Like, of course, if we decided to roguely KYC or dox, then people might see flaws, might think, what's going on here? If we keep saying we're going to, and we don't, but we openly say that we're not, and we openly say why, and we have that conversation, and that's why we were successful before, and that's why we're doing it now. And yeah, it is a great conversation because everyone's got, you know, an opinion on it, and we can all have a conversation on it. But I'm pro it. I think it would be better. I think it would be better for KYC. I think it would be better for doxing, but I'm just not there as as within the project that we're in or the team that we're in. And of course, that when you are KYCing or doxing within Pinksale, the individual that records that video, and of course, if you ever do inquire about it and you do go to Pinksale, the video that they send you back to show you how to do it, they're wearing a V for Vendetta mask, and they themselves don't show their face when they show you a video describing how you should present, the video to them. So it's very, strange if you really look into KYC. But there's, you have to have the dev wallet of the project. So maybe someone from our team says, hey, no problem, I'll give my passport, my utility bill, I'll do a video of myself, and they openly say that they can report you to Interpol if something goes wrong. Sure, I'll put myself forward on this, but they would then have to record themselves having 5 BNB minimum within their wallet, and also control of the dev wallet as well. So you're talking about the individual that controls the dev wallet is the person that has to KYC and docs all the time. And so it's not just like one person. And there's different things like that. So it's not as easy as what many people think. And like I say, it does have a cost at it. You do have to have some capital in your wallet to be able to do it. And the people that generally tell you to do it are not docs themselves. So it's an interesting conversation. But when it comes to people being safe, we've done this in the past. We haven't rugged in the past. We haven't scammed in the past. We're ambitious people trying to get a name for ourselves. Now, yeah, if there was a project that got to a huge amount of a market cap, it would seem right for the safety of the team and the safety of the contract itself to move down that route. But an early launch DeFi space, just ticking that box because the investor expects it. It's just like when people were screaming for everyone to renounce contracts, and people just did it because the investor screamed it, but it was completely useless. So I don't feel like it is a problem for us, and we're pretty confident to push through that.
No, I definitely agree with the contracts, renouncing the contracts, because you're basically losing all control of it. And it's, to be honest with you, this thing is not really a problem for me, because I've had people tell me that it's okay and it's a safe project. But when I don't know, I just look at it sometimes and I'm seeing 150 BNB raise on a potential kind of, let's say, a meme project. It's going to be a first mover. It's going to have the early advantage where it's got everything set up and everything, which I'm quite bullish about. But a lot of these other tokens that move like this into these kind of things, let's say, the weekend, and what else have we had recently? What's that TV program? I've watched it. Just finished watching it.
Squid Games.
Well, Squid Games, yeah, and then there was another one. But most of the time, they start as a stealth launch or have a small private raise. They're not holding 150 BNB pre-sale. So, I'm intrigued to see how it goes.
Yeah, it depends where you're at. I mean, you're from the United Kingdom. What's 150 BNB is like 30 grand. Split that between the team and your reputation in DeFi. It's not going to get me very far. It's so there's no way I would scam a project for £30,000. That I have to split between 5 people. It's insane to think you would do that from the United Kingdom. What the hell is going on? So, there's factors you could look at there, is to see the social economic issues whereby someone from a certain place might feel the need to pull the rug when it comes to like getting a quick 10 grand, 5 grand. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. That's what's happening in the space, and that's why people are doing it. And they can live their life then being in the shadows, pretending to be someone, but I'm a very vocal individual, talk all the time on AMAs, and the team themselves present themselves as those people. So we're trying to get a name for ourselves. And I think if we can keep going into AMA groups, we can keep being transparent and having that conversation, hopefully people can see where we're coming from. But the risk of like taking a scam over such a small amount of money when, we're from this part of the world, nah. We're not going to do it. It's not going to get you very far, right? £30,000.
I get it. I understand your point of view. I just I hope other people will. But like I say, it's not much of a concern to me, because I know who you're connected to and stuff like that. But will other people see that? I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, I think so. What that will happen is it will like hinder our ability to get a bigger pre-sale, and probably hinder some things at that point. But then once the token's out and the chart's live, I think sometimes people don't even look at that and they just fly their money into projects without even checking. Generally, it comes down to the pre-sale, the private sale, and the launch of the token. Once the token's live, nobody's asking about KYC or doxing. they're just flying money into a green candle, and that's just the way it seems to go, right? But at these early stages, that's why we're doing AMA tours. That's why we've got VC in the chat, and that's why we're picking the right kind of AMA groups where we can have this kind of conversation where people understand it and we can debate back and forth. But of course, it's probably going to hinder us, and there might be more money in doxing or KYCing.
Okay. Listen, I've got two more points kind of around this subject as well, if that's all right, Mark. Sorry,
Yeah.
man, I know I'm jumping in a bit here, and it's
No,
kind of, we've been talking about KYC for a little bit longer than we probably should have. But have you got a plan then, if you can't raise this 150 BNB pre-sale for you, in terms of your private investors? Have you got a plan to move forward after that if you don't raise it?
Yeah, so what we would do that is we would move into a fair launch format, and we would look to move into launching the token down something like that. We'd have a conversation about that with people. If things didn't work out, of course, private investors would get refunded, but of course, we would be looking to launch the token. So probably something like a fair launch is what we've discussed.
Okay, all right. And so regarding the KYC again, coming back to this a little bit, it was something David brought up in the text chat. Would one of the concerns be the fact that there could be copyright issues here and cease and desist?
Yeah, that's what we openly talked about at the beginning, actually, when there was team members that were saying, look, we'll KYC, we'll do this. And, we didn't do it on our last projects, but there is people openly wanting to do it now. So one thing that I was concerned, if I was saying, well, hang on a minute, I'm not going to dox or KYC, but you might. And then if it was going to have some legal implications in the future, then you would be the focus, right? So then we had that conversation, but still we got through that, and I think we're pretty cool. That's a great thing to touch on too, because from the think tanks we've had and the conversations we've had, most likely HBO are not going to get in touch. They're not going to do that. But in some way, if there was some formal connection between HBO and contacting our particular token, then every scenario that we've had in a think tank has been that it would be astronomically beneficial to the token. It would be the positives would outweigh the negatives. But of course, could that happen as a scenario? Yeah, I imagine so, but we would have to get so big for it to be a problem. But yeah, that is definitely something that that we were concerned about as a team to with the KYC or doxing, but it's not our main push. But I guess it's a good way to be able to explain a little bit as to maybe why not, because that is a possibility. But of course, like who would HBO contact? But anyway, any formal information published in the world of HBO talking about our token would outweigh the negatives, I think.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's kind of I want to ask you something else as well regarding that. Let's say this does really take off, and it goes beyond all expectations, and gets to millions of dollars market cap. Let's say the cease and desist does come along. Do you have a plan to move the project forward in a different way?
Yeah, 100%. And when we were in the DeFi yield space, and the market started to take a turn, and these tokens started to become less popular, less sexy, people didn't want to put their money into these things. We kept our community, we moved them forward, we created an ecosystem, we created separate groups, and we kept people involved in what we were doing. We were moving and piggybacking from things and step stoning. So if we were to get to that level that you described, fantastic. What an exciting ride that would be. And then what we could do from that point as DeFi builders or crypto builders or enthusiasts in the space that are ambitious could be amazing. We could really launch something amazing. We could add to the ecosystem we've already got. We could kind of maybe even, look to move down, continuing what we're doing or completely move away from it. So yeah, that would be a point whereby us as a team could do some amazing things in the space. And I think that's what we're looking for. That's what's the key here. And that's the key when you're also investing in crypto, is that be careful of longevity, because the market changes, the world changes. So you can't always guarantee longevity. But what do the team want to do, and where do they want to go next, and where can you go? And if they're transparent about things, you can get in a safe place when it comes to that investment. But yeah, if there was a cease and desist, we were in the hundreds of millions of market cap. What a place to be, and what a scenario to be thinking of. But of course, we would be trying to do something else.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. It'd be nice. I mean, 'cause I don't know what's going on in the inside chat and stuff like that. But if you've already got a plan to deal with that if the time comes, and that's good. How about with the the NFTs and stuff? David was mentioned this, listing them on any resale platforms, or are you just going to
Yeah.
keep this all kind of in house, so to speak? Do you know what I mean? Or did you plan on listing them anywhere?
Yeah, so when the NFTs come out first, we're going to have our own minting DApp, and that's something that we've got in process right now. But what's great is that closer to the premiere in the next few weeks, when we'll be able to get our play to earn, which is in development, what we're going to also have there is a marketplace, whereby then we can allow people to trade them. But of course, again, looking at those NFTs and talking about the copyright, cease and desist and different things, we want to be able to keep them separate so that the NFTs are totally fine when it comes to that, and that they can be traded and they can be kept used outside of any problems. But of course, being able to have them in a form of a tradable marketplace, or even partnership, and this is something we've been discussing with some people too in Telegram, partnershiping to be able to go outside of our internal marketplace into an external one. That's something that we would look to do.
Cool. And just one more thing from me, really, was just going back to the audit and stuff, just to let everyone know the contract is available for you to go and actually read at the minute. So if you wanted to go and have a look at that now, you can.
Yeah, you can get the CA on the website.
And I don't see anything malicious in there. And I know I'm probably not the most experienced, but it's there. It's there for anyone to have a look at. There's probably people who can read stuff better than me, but yeah, it's there. I'll let you carry on, Mark. Sorry for jumping in there and asking a few questions that are kind of related to that subject.
Yeah, no worries.
Toby.
Yeah. I've only got a couple more left. KJAM. So I'd like to just understand yours and the team's goals in terms of short and medium term for the project.
Yeah, I guess short, we need to get a successful launch. We need to get a launch that's going to work for the investor, that's going to work for the time and where we're at right now. Don't panic, don't rush, don't be irresponsible, don't try and give too much too early. Just be real about what you're presenting. So short term, we need to get that successful launch. And when it comes to midterm, I would say having that developed utility, because that's something that we want to present. That skill set can advance you later in the crypto space, and it's just great learning things. All of us as a team, we want to learn. We're hungry, we're really hungry in this space. We're really ambitious. So yeah, I guess short term would be that. And then what's great about this token is we've got that length. So long term is being able to be there at that hype when the premiere launches and HPOs start to pump their marketing and things develop from there. So there's three key things that I think as a team we can all see quite clearly, and we can all be like, this is the real roadmap, because when you launch a token, you can predict a roadmap. We don't know what's in the next 4 weeks, but we can see something coming in 4 weeks. We're just trying to rendezvous with that kind of same time. So there's the three, I would say, points for the team.
Okay, nice. And then, so leading on from that, then our legit crypto lounge question that we always like to ask everybody at the end of the AMA, and in terms of, for us, we feel like success can't be achieved without clear vision from you, the team leaders. So basically, at what point does this project become a success to you?
I love it. I love these out there questions where you can really think about it. I mean, what does it mean to me for this project to be a success? I guess for me, I've never had a token on CMC, but does that mean success? What does that even mean? Or CoinGecko, does that mean success? It's all those things. It's like looking at life. You get to a point and you look back and you think, well, what the pursuit was, what it was about, right? Mm-hmm. So what makes it successful for me? I think, being in the moment every single time, and then being able to look back and think that I enjoyed, appreciated, was grateful for all those moments that got me to where I am at that point. So if I could be in the moment for this whole roller coaster, I think that would be the best thing.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Thanks.
Is there anything that you feel that I've missed out that you'd like to touch on, expand on?
No, I think it's been a really in-depth AMA, and I really like these kind of AMAs where we can really, have a conversation, we can go back and forth, and we can have opinions, we can, have a conversation. I think for everyone, just join our Telegram. You might start to see more of these tokens appear. You might start to see this hype create. So jump into our Telegram and see what we do next. Watch our journey. Participate in the private, participate in the pre-sale, or buy our token live next week when it's out on PancakeSwap. So again, thank you for having me here in your lounge, Mark, Toby. It's been great speaking with you guys. Highly acclaimed, came from some of our members in our team, widely spoken about this AMA lounge. We're going to take the recordings, we're going to put them out on YouTube, and we're going to be able to spread the information about this kind of conversation. I think it's a great thing to be able to do in crypto too. So I really appreciate the time you gave us. Thank you.
Awesome. And we really appreciate you coming on board and sharing your project with us and stuff, and wish you a lot of success with your pre-sale and launch as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing where you can take this project in the near future.
Excellent.